Hi everybody, and welcome to Robin's house. Today I want to go over a little bit more about masking, and I'm a little bit excited about it because I was able to do it myself and it looks awesome. Now, a small disclaimer, I don't have a lot of great stamp sets for masking. I don't own that many flower stamp sets, so I had to kind of do the best I could with my Flower EIST1. But I can show you the same technique and you can apply it to whatever stamp set you have. So the first thing you got to do when you are masking is, well, I guess you could kind of figure out where you want things to be. So if you want to have a message that isn't covered up, you'll want to put that in there. And then the next thing you want to do is you build kind of backwards. So the thing you want in the foreground, which is this giant flower, is the thing you stamp first. I'm here, I'm going to stamp my stamp. And then you're going to stamp it again. But this time you're going to stamp it on a sticky note. So find your sticky note, sticky part, which I put up. And I'm going to stamp it so that there's a lot on the sticky side. And then you get to cut it out. And when you cut it out, you're going to cut it so that some of that black line stays on your sticky note even after you take away the image that you've cut out. So, for example, when I'm done cutting, you can still see some of that black stamped line around these edges. So that is a good thing. And now that I have stamped my image, I'm going to put down my previously stamped image over the top. So this will mask it and make it safe for the next item. Now the next item that I want to show is my second flower over here. So I'm going to stamp this down. It's going to overlap my another flower a little bit. And then I've already stamped my flower, so I can put it down. You just match it up with the lines already on the page. And then now we go to the next thing. So the next thing I want to put is my big leaf here in the side. So I'm going to have this go clear up almost to the message. So it's going to be like this. And then if you see, I also have something going on up here, and I can do that. Oh no, cannot do that yet. So I'm going to put down my image by matching it up and then letting the sticky side. Up here, we've got these small leaves are the thing in the back. So I have to find my small leaf. Find my small leaf. I've hidden it from myself. And then I just, in various places, I'm gonna stamp. I wanna have those like hanging down outside of the, kind of pointing toward that message. So that was my intent. And then I have all these little leaves ready to put down. And I did not make it a secret that my small disdain for masking, but I will tell you what, this was really cool. And I really enjoyed doing this. So now I can do my giant leaf. No, I still got to do my smaller leaves first. So I'm going to bring this leaf down, again pointing to that message. I want to bring this leaf down. And then I have a leaf over here that's coming up over on this side. I can do that one now. So I've got my pre-stamped leaves all cut out. I'm just going to layer these along. You look for little clues of where you should put it based on, because, oh, I forgot to say, I accidentally did something really awesome. I was stamping on my sticky note, and I didn't realize I had picked up more than one Post-it. So I was able to cut out 2 or 3 images at one time. Now the bad thing is only your top image has the stamp on it, but you don't really need it on the bottom images. It does just fine. So that was a really happy accident. 2 was really easy to cut. 3 was getting a little difficulter, so I probably wouldn't do more than 3. Okay, so now I have my big leaves, and now or my medium leaves, I guess. Now I can do my big leaf across the top. This one, I want to cover as much of that space as I can. You also want to create some things that are going under and over. So now I can mask this one down. It sure looks better when it has the image on it, but it certainly doesn't need to have it. And then once you use it a couple times, because the sticky notes will stick for a while. Let's see, now we can add the wispy. So some of those I covered up unnecessarily because I probably haven't gonna do anything with it, but still the technique is the same. I didn't put it under the, okay, let's see if I can save it. The more layers you get under here, the less likely it will stamp perfectly, but that isn't really what happened. I just didn't stamp right. Here we go. Okay, and then I also, just to fill the space, put some over here that I wanted to fill this space, and I also wanted to fill a little bit of this space. So go. And then my last thing was this little, I just wanted to fill a little bit of this hole here. And I think I might fill some over here too. Oh, I'm getting it on my thing. Let's go over here, fill a little bit more. So what I'm actually doing is I'm creating things in the background by starting with your first image and then piling on. So as you remove your layers, this leaf is on top of those light leaves. This flower is above those leaves. And then I'm going to save these. I'm going to put them back in their pile of the leaves so I can use them again. Because it isn't very fun cutting these out, of course. So if you put them on a sticky note, or they have, I guess, sticky paper, which would probably be even better than a sticky note, because the sticky notes only are sticky on one side, one end of it, and once, if that's not the end that happens to be stuck to your project, like say for pretend right here was the only place there was sticky, then it would have a hard time sticking this down. But I suppose with repositionable tape and such, you could recreate that. But anyway, I thought this was absolutely fascinating. And did you see how easy that was? It wasn't difficult at all. The next difficult part will, of course, be coloring it, but that isn't really the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to do masking. But I have something really cool to show you in, like the next step. So say for pretend you love masking and you have a great stamp set that you just want to create a card that has the same images on the top and the bottom. I'm going to show you a really cool way to do that. So I have my little traveling, I think some of them are called Misties, but mine's not called a Misty. Mine's a Tim Holtz thing. But I have created a gutter of sorts because I'm going to have my images going off the edge and I don't want them to do that. So I'm going to recreate sort of this card, but I'm going to recreate it a little differently so that the items at the top and the bottom are the same. And that's real handy when you're wanting to create a lot of things over and over again. This was pretty cool. So I have to get my stamp. So now I don't need blocks anymore because I have my Tim Holtz thing. So I'm going to put my stamp on top of my image because I know exactly where I want it to be. And then I'll close the lid. And I'll get my clean piece of paper. So this is my new card base. I take my ink pad, ink up, stamp, and then I'm going to drop it right where I want it to be. And then not only that, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So how fun would this be at Christmas time if you wanted to create multiple cards? You could just do an assembly line here so fast. And then you're masking again. So you just stick those masks right in place. And then we go, we have to snatch out our sample card again. And next it's time for our small flower. So we line our small flower up. You don't have to be as exact as I'm being. It's a little silly. No one's going to see the other card. But just to give you an idea of where it is, ink it up. Turn it over. Put those masks on there. I'm just going to do one more print just so you can kind of see the reveal and we can go through it real quick just a couple times. Okay, so our next. Oh, no, I did it backwards. Don't ink it first or you'll be sad. Take it off the block. And I think I can go ahead and do this one at the same time. Let's see what happens if we do. And if you have a little thing, you gotta clean it off every once in a while. Okay, so we'll go down, grab these two stamps, put your card back in place, those up. Turn it over. Oh, so let's clean this off a little bit. So I would normally be doing a couple more, but you don't really need to see all of it to get the idea. It's almost the exact same thing as we did before. But again, we can peel off this secondary flower, put it in its pile, peel off this first flower. I think I didn't ink it right. That was my own fault. But the idea is then you can create a border where you could put your small message right there in the center. You could do that even right now. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's crooked at a diagonal, but the same idea applies. So how fun is that to mask like that? And you get such perfect images, one right after the other, except where I boo-booed. But that's amazing, I think. Okay, one more thing. So say for pretend you like the idea of masking, but you do not like the idea of cutting out all those images. What can you do? I have a secret. You can, I have to find my secret. What happens if you use your thin cut shapes to do this? Oh, not here. So this is super fun. Nice way to do it, especially if you're doing more than one of each card. Or doing that top and bottom where you want them to be identical. Now, say for pretend you wanted to do masking, but you did not want to cut out all those images.